How's it going, friends? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming Nonsense. It's been a few weeks. My friend on the other side of the screen here is not wearing his glasses, so he looks a bit different. But we're here. We're here. We did it. We're back. How's it going, Coffee? What have you been up to, man? I would say it's been a while, but we talk to each other every day, so it really hasn't been a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's been going well, friend. How you doing over there?
I'm doing all right. We've got some interesting things to talk about this week, I think. A little rundown, what we've been up to recently, a little bit of news that's been going on in the first part of this week. And then afterwards, we're going to talk about something that should be pretty interesting. What we think some good options for some existing medias to turn into, video games that haven't been created yet, or maybe some that are really old that could deserve a reboot. Should be interesting. We were texting about it the other day, so I thought we'd bring it into the podcast. That's the lineup. Good friend. That being said, it's been 3 weeks. What have you been playing? What have you been liking? What have you been hating? What's been going on?
I guess we left off with on the Destiny 2 hype train.
We certainly did.
Yeah, I've effectively, for the most part, jumped off.
Yeah.
I get in roughly, one time a week. I try and get the Tuesday resets. Yeah. You and NTR wanted to pull me back in, so I come in every once in a while, churning away with that. Other than that, I bought Cuphead on Xbox, so I had to blow off the dust off of that. Mm-hmm. And that's been really fun. It's very difficult, but you get a weird sense of satisfaction once you're able to beat that boss after the 12th time.
Would you say you're playing on an Xbox? What's an Xbox?
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyways,
finally,
you were playing that. It looked super hard, so I'm gonna get a little taste of that when I come to Phoenix this weekend. Yeah.
So you'll see what I'm saying when it's very difficult.
Yeah, I'm in a rage. I can feel it.
Other than that, I recently picked up Evil Within 2 on PS4, so I'm really enjoying that. Alex and I played through the first one a few years back, and so this second one, it feels it's roughly the same kind of overall plot line. Sebastian Castellanos, the main character, is back into the STEM engine, which is like this alternate reality type thing where the whole world is just falling apart and there's monsters and just shit's hitting the fan. But the main difference so far I've seen in it, and right now I'm in chapter 7 out of 17, is that it's a lot more open worldy, where the first one was a lot more linear.
It's all the rage these days.
Right. And granted, this time, again, we're playing on easy because we don't have time to, fuck around with any of this. Yeah. But, again, even though it's on easy, it's still scary because it's a horror game. So, I mean, we're still jumping out of our asses and everything. Yeah. So, it's pretty good. Other than that, Herrera let me borrow NBA 2K18. It's a great game. If only I could play a few games of basketball and not go through. I don't know what it is with these sports games. Last year with the Spike Lee storyline, and this time it's like I want to do a franchise mode, and God forbid I need to have a whole backstory about being an assistant GM now.
Yeah, I haven't played an EA Sports game probably since like FIFA 14. Not say I haven't played. I haven't owned and purchased the EA Sports game. It's a lot of effort these days. I just don't have time for that.
And so, I mean, with that, I'm just dicking around with that. Other than that, on the non-video game side, Blanca and I went and saw Blade Runner 2049. That was really good. Nice. There was some part, it's very long, and I'll be honest, I did doze off a little bit at the beginning. Yeah. There's a lot of times where nothing's happening, and you're just kind of looking at the screen, and it's a very, very beautiful movie, beautifully shot. It's just a bit too long in the tooth there.
And you had seen the original?
Yes, we saw the original. I picked it up at Zia's, and so it's a good movie. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, actually. It's on my list of things to watch.
It's a you won't be able to watch it on a Friday because I let Herrera borrow it. But,
great, you're a bad friend.
I'm sure we can find a way to watch it. It's a good movie. It really is.
Yeah, I've heard. I'll be interested. I mean, I had heard of it and knew what it was before. I just didn't really have a reason to watch it, and I feel like now I do and should. So I'll get around to that.
You kind of have to watch it a couple of times to really get the full scope of like kind of what's going on.
Like The Matrix?
Because, yeah.
So.
And then finally, Blanca and I went through and watched season 3 of Rick and Morty. Fantastic show again. Obviously, the highlight episode is Pickle Rick. I'm Pickle Rick.
Yeah, see, this is another thing I'm behind on. God, man.
Yeah, so luckily for you, I do still have seasons 1 and 2, so we'll churn through a couple of those.
I like that.
But yeah, so that's been about it. So how about you, friend? How's Destiny been treating you?
Yeah, man, that's about it. I've been playing a lot of Destiny, and I've been watching a lot of Parks and Rec. Destiny's been good. I get why a lot of people are jumping off of it, because particularly if you don't have a lot of time to just sit there and grind it every week, or you don't want to sit there and grind one game every week, you kind of got to wait for those resets. And then once you've done the raid and once you've done all these things, if you're not into making other characters or things like that, there's not too much else to do in the end game. I mean, there's always going for the weapons that you want and making your 305 your best slots, all that kind of stuff. But like meaningful progression, you just kind of get stuck after the raid. So I've done the raid a couple times. Probably do the raid after this tonight. Probably won't do the prestige raid yet because I am a little bitch and I need an actual squad of people that I know to play through that with probably. But it's good. I don't know. I mean, I'll probably, I was talking to you about it the other day. It's been my game of choice. I'll probably cut that in half pretty soon here. Run through the raid a bunch at this point, and it's, do I want to make another character maybe on the side for fun? Because I actually did like the campaign a lot. Thought it was pretty good, so I wouldn't mind playing that again. But there's some good stuff coming out in the near future here, especially if I'm going to pick up a Switch pretty soon for Mario and some things like that. I'm just going to have to split my time up.
Yeah, I hear you.
And then unrelated to gaming, just churned through Parks and Rec the last month. So
yeah, that was impressive.
I'm looking at the calendar. I started four and a half weeks ago, Parks and Rec season 1. Watched it with Katie, my girlfriend, and we finished season 7, the last episode, last night. So it took us a month to get through the whole show. And it was one of those things where I had seen like episodes here and there, but I never watched it all the way through. And it was the same situation with The Office, which I watched, I don't know, 4 months ago maybe.
Yeah.
So I feel pretty accomplished so far this year. I need to keep going on that though.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt with The Office, about watching various episodes and knowing certain references and not knowing exactly where they happen in the show.
Yeah.
But where do you rank Parks and Recs in your
it's
list of shows?
It's easily top 5 TV comedies. Probably TV shows in general, like long series like that. Office being up there, obviously. I mean, it's hard to compare a show like that to something like a Game of Thrones that's not on like cable television. I mean, it's on HBO, but not on like cable TV, a week by week half-hour show.
Yeah.
But it was good, man. I liked it. There wasn't really a time where I was like, maybe I'll stop watching here. That I kind of always wanted to keep watching it to the end. And I'll put it on record. Season 7 was a good season. IGN agrees with me. Rotten Tomatoes agrees with me. A 10 out of 10, 100%. And you're wrong.
I stopped watching halfway through.
Nope, you're wrong.
I stopped watching halfway through
it's
because
a good season.
I was just like, it felt too sentimental. And I don't know. Like, I think I honestly stopped on the episode when Donna, that was her name, Donna, right? Yeah, when she got married.
So you literally had 3 episodes left. Why did you stop?
Not worth. Done. Hold the plug.
Okay. Unrelated to that, I've moved all this stuff in my room around. Let's see. I used to be over on that wall over there that you can't see, and Katie wanted to rearrange, so we rearranged, and here I am.
Yeah.
Friends.
At first, I got worried. I was like, "Hold on a second. That's not the couch. It needs to be on this side." And
well, what do you
got some fall decorations back there.
It's like I'm in heaven a little bit with this glow up here. I don't really know. We're all decorative in your room. Well, your room.
I'm decorative with trash.
And the Packers go Brett Favre. Psych.
Aaron Rodgers is hurt, so fucking don't care anymore.
Let's move on. That's a lot. We've been up to a lot, basically. Some video game related, some not video game related.
Yes.
And we'll go from there. So, section number 2, you're going to talk a little bit about some news. If you're a Star Wars fan, you might be interested in.
Moving on to some, not so happy news is that, EA's Visceral Games studio shut down recently. So unfortunately, that kind of throws a wrench into the whole Star Wars Visceral Games project that they were hard at work for the last few years. If you don't know, Visceral Games is responsible for games such as Battlefield Hardline, Dead Space, and right now what Kotaku is reporting is that the Star Wars game that was in development is going to be revamped and it'll move to a different studio. I mean, that can mean a lot of things. It could mean exactly what it says, and that it's going to kind of maybe rework some things. Maybe something didn't work out that this new studio is going to be able to look into and get the game kind of to the light of day. Or it could mean that they're going to scrap the whole thing and start from scratch. And if that's the case, then you're looking at something that you won't be able to see until, 3-4 years down the line.
Easily 3-4 years, yeah.
Yeah, but before you even remotely hear a sniff of it.
Yeah.
And so it's unfortunate. You feel for those guys. You see a lot of people on Twitter reminding people that these games, they're made by real people,
humans.
real human beings. Exactly, and it's just it sucks. It's just basically saying that these people got laid off. So hopefully they're able to get back on their feet and keep doing what they love to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to add other than Knights of the Old Republic is a classic Star Wars game. It's always a bummer, especially when it's a game from a franchise that's that kind of well liked and that well known. I mean, it's obviously something we're going to play kind of similar. We're going to talk about it in a second, but Shadow of War is the Lord of the Rings type of a game. I don't know. Those are just universes that you kind of know and love, and it's just a bummer you hear anything like that happen.
Just one quick thing. Further along in the article, they updated it and they said that Steve Anthony, the executive producer at EA, he's going to lead the team at EA Vancouver, which is going to be the development team across worldwide studios to take over the development of that Star Wars game. Yeah. So, hopefully it works out,
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some more news relatively soon. We don't just sit here and wait and wonder what's going to happen.
Right.
Related to Star Wars 2, unrelated to video games, I think the Han Solo spinoff has a title. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, unfortunately I did.
Yeah? You want to say what it was?
You can guess. You have two guesses. It's
Han or Solo. I think it's just called Solo, a Star Wars story, isn't it? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw on Twitter, someone joked and said, "Oh wow, Rogue One and Solo both have the same title."
Yeah, God. That's funny. The next one will be called First. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it turns out good. I mean, I do like them expanding upon the Star Wars universe and everything.
Yeah.
But hopefully it doesn't get to a point where we're just beating a dead horse, repeatedly, because now we're going to be churning out Star Wars films almost every year.
Yep.
And, hopefully they don't stray away from what made it so magical to begin with.
Yeah, episode 8 later this year in December. It looks pretty dark from all the trailers. I know you didn't watch the most recent one, I think, if I remember correctly.
I did not.
Yeah, I mean, spoilery, but degaff.
Right.
The overall sentiment seems pretty dark and morbid, though, so I'm into that. If that's truly the way that it is, I'm into that. I think it'd be cool for the franchise.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm 1,000% more excited for Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, that'll be good too. But I would not say I'm more excited for that. The posters look pretty sick for that. All right, anyways, we're getting distracted. On to the next section.
We don't even have this shit written down.
Yeah, I'm just staring at what we're going to talk about next, and I'm blabbering. You had a cool idea, and we were texting about it a little bit. Talk about some games that we think, or some other known media franchises, TV shows, movies, comics, whatever you might have that would make cool video game titles that either exist and or we'd like to see exist, or maybe rebooted or something like that. I'll let you take us through it, but I thought it was an interesting topic.
Yeah, so I mean, as we all know or should know, Shadow of War and South Park Fractured But Whole both came out recently. I personally am probably not going to play either of them. My roommate Avery, he's going through Shadow of War right now, just churning through that. Another buddy of ours, Chris, he really wants to play South Park, so they'll probably end up getting that. You were saying that you might take a chance at Shadow of War.
Yeah,
at some point.
It depends. I think me playing Shadow War depends on if I get a Switch or not. But if I don't get a Switch,
Yeah, that's true.
it'll be I mean, that could easily be a November type of a game, maybe before the Horizon
Right.
DLC comes out or something. I don't know. So
Yeah. So just like with those two the successful games, and the fact that they're both sequels, they've gotten pretty good ratings across the these media Game Informer gave Shadow War 9.5, 9 from IGN, 7.5 Polygon, 8.75 South Park, Game Informer 8.5 and 7 from IGN and Polygon respectively. So with those two games, becoming such successful properties that a lot of people have a lot of love for, I thought, what other media properties do we want to see? And so my first thing right away was Rick and Morty.
yeah.
And again, I mean, I seriously cannot get enough of that show. I've started rewatching, different episodes, and I was thinking more of somewhat a open world type RPG, maybe a Mass Effect-y type thing, because they do deal with other dimensions, other planets, other species, and things like that. And I thought also, if you were to incorporate the fact that in Destiny, if you're out and about on various worlds, or if you're in the tower, you see other Guardians, right?
Yep.
Now, in Rick and Morty, spoiler alert, in Rick and Morty,
Plug my ears.
there's an infinite amount of Ricks and Mortys.
Okay.
So, because he has a portal gun that goes to different dimensions, not just like different areas on the, planet or universe, literally other realities.
Okay.
And so there's other versions of Rick and other versions of Mortys. And so there's a lot of Ricks that may look different. And so that can be a thing where you have different players and they're all the same character. They're all Ricks and Mortys essentially, but they're looking different based on like other armor or shit like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was interesting. Another thing was John Wick. I mean, I honestly think that should be a game because, I mean, the movie franchise completely took off out of nowhere. Maybe a sort of Max Payne-esque type game where, it's a bit dark. You could possibly throw in, not like Assassin's Creed how it is now, but like John Wick is agile. He is able to do a lot of things like that. So that could be something. And then finally, Game of Thrones. It might be too similar to Witcher, but I think it could easily become a Witcher. I know that we did have that Telltale Game of Thrones
That's what I was
season,
gonna say.
but I mean that's not really going anywhere.
Yeah.
So that could be something where it's just like, hey, you play as either you follow the HBO story, whereas you're gonna play as like each different character. Or it becomes, a story of like this unknown person in the Game of Thrones world.
Yeah.
And because you've seen there's going to be like, there's 5 ideas for spinoffs or something. Like, just take one of those and throw it into a game.
Yeah. I'd be
so
super down.
Having like a Bethesda or something, in charge of that, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. No, that'd be pretty sick. I'd play the hell out of that. I can't say I'd play Rick and Morty, but John Wick and Game of Thrones I'd definitely play. I actually still need to see the second John Wick movie. I need to get on that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. That's on me also. At least I've seen the first one. I was thinking of some you kind of took an easy one there with Game of Thrones in particular, but we have some other good ideas. I mean, you had mentioned Parks and Rec, but I don't know if I'd be into a Parks and Rec type simulator game. I mean, maybe, but probably not.
Picture playing as Aziz. Treat yourself. Treat yourself.
Another big one which hasn't had at least not as far as I'm aware, a big reboot in a while is James Bond. Obviously, there's classic GoldenEye. There was World's Not Enough game on N64. I'm sure there's other games that I'm missing. But I mean, who wouldn't want more James Bond? That's always a good time. An interesting one you brought up was Westworld, which could be cool. Could be really cool because I would relate it to Red Dead or that franchise,
right?
Just as a Western theme. But there's a different aspect to it, whereas the whole thing's not necessarily in the Western in the park. There's the other aspect of being in real life too. So maybe there's various aspects from you could make it a simulator type game, you could make it like a story based open world type of a game. Maybe you come in as a guest and then you get to go kind of explore the storyline, that type of thing. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be super into that.
Could it work? Because again, I watched the first episode, and so
That's right. I keep forgetting you haven't watched it.
So I have a very vague idea of kind of what it's about.
Yeah.
And could that be a thing that could benefit from the Telltale narrative stories, or like is it too complex to have? Because like, it seems to me for that first episode there's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah, there is. It's pretty I mean, but then again, Game of Thrones is pretty complex.
Yeah, and look how the Telltale did.
Yeah, I know. Which is why, I mean, I wouldn't want it to. I wouldn't say it couldn't be that. I wouldn't want it to be that. Would be my answer. And the last one I put on here is a Top Gun game. I mean, not necessarily Top Gun, but flying games. I haven't played an actual dedicated kind of airplane or fighter plane type game.
So like Star Fox,
I guess.
Dual barrel
and
roll.
other games in like Battlefield or wherever you get to fly. I'm miserable. So it'd be cool. Play some sort of a modern and/or I don't know about futuristic. Maybe a modern or historical kind of flying military based game would be kind of cool.
Hey, you know a secret?
Never seen Top Gun?
Never seen Top
all right.
Gun.
Moving on. God, man. We got a lot of stuff to watch between the two of us.
Bad.
All right.
Yeah,
well, I mean, that was all I had on my list. I can't think of anything at the time being, but
Hey, look, I think that's a solid list. I mean, I love the idea of running around as Aziz. I mean, one of the favorite parts is episode 2 when he doesn't put any of the Easter eggs.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, Leslie's like, I'm an adult. We haven't found any Easter eggs. And Tom's just in the background going,
He didn't put the... Yeah, that was funny. Flip-flop from video games to other media, because I was thinking about it earlier and I Googled it when I was trying to figure out what games I wanted to call out here, was the freaking Halo movie that never got made, man.
That's right.
Like an actual Halo movie. It'd be really hard to make it a good movie, but if they could...
I mean, they made a Mortal Kombat movie. 2 of them.
I said good movies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the fact is, if you can make 2 Mortal Kombat... I love them, but the fact that you can make 2 of those movies...
We'll see. I was reading up on the Halo one too. I didn't realize that like Peter Jackson was signed on as the executive producer. What? Just dude, that's such a bummer.
Weren't they gonna make a Call of Duty multiverse or something movie like that? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, vaguely I remember it. I can't remember any of the details.
That was a while ago. I haven't heard anything about that, but that just popped in my head.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
Jeez.
That being said, there's still a lot, as we can tell from what we're saying, we have not played and/or have not watched yet between the two of us. What are you going to be up to the next couple of weeks? Hopefully, it's been 3 weeks since our last podcast. We're gonna fix that. We already have our topic for next week planned out, so we'll be more regular. But until then, the next week or two, what are you gonna be up
to? So like I said before, I'm almost halfway through Evil Within 2. I looked up like the amount of time, it's like roughly 20 hours, and I think I'm about 7 hours in.
Yeah.
So hopefully I want to finish that up by the end of this weekend. Yep. I'm gonna once you come on Friday, we're gonna take a crack at Cuphead. Yep. Hopefully, with our combined, gaming skills, we'll be able to tackle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'm like on the third world, so I'm like roughly over 50%. So I'm a good chunk into it. I'm pretty proud of myself. And regardless, I want to get articles about those. Hopefully, by the end of Sunday. Even if I didn't finish Cuphead, I still wanted to write about that because it's a game where I don't know if I'll be able to finish, and just the timeliness of it is kind of running out.
Yeah, that makes sense. And for those wondering, where will those articles be found?
Coffeescorner.com, www.
Yeah, coffeescorner.com, www. I don't know if that'll work.
HTTP
colon
forward slash www.coffeescorner.com. And then next Friday, Super Mario Odyssey. So I gotta brush the dust off the Switch.
Yep.
And I'm gonna load that puppy up. And hey, I need to save bitch ass Peach again.
There you go. Should be a good time. I'm probably just gonna be playing Destiny, to be honest. Depending on if I get a Switch or not the next week or two will determine if I play maybe Mario and then come back and play Zelda or something later. Going to Phoenix this weekend, so it kind of takes away some of my gaming ability. Other than that, potentially
sit right there.
I'm going to be right there.
Right there.
Be looking into Shadow of War, especially if I'm not getting a Switch. So I'll have an update on that shortly. That's kind of it. I'm just kind of grinding the Destiny still right now. So nothing too exciting. I'm still hanging on. I haven't gotten bored just yet. So
You'll get there.
yeah, eventually I'll get there.
We all do.
Yep, eventually I'll get there. Yeah. I mean, I think that's it. We mentioned earlier we got a lot of ideas coming up. We kind of have the next few episodes planned out, so we should be more regular. Still will not do an episode when I'm in Phoenix because your laptop will literally crap itself.
I'm about to lose it with this laptop. It took me roughly 7 times to load fucking Skype. I
mean, what are you gonna do?
I opened up Task Manager and it said it wasn't responding.
Task Manager wasn't responding?
Task Manager said parentheses not responding.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, specifically next week, I know you've been thinking about it. What's on the docket?
Coming next time on Gaming Nonsense, Teddy and I will look into the hype surrounding Mario Odyssey, maybe give our own ranking system of the overall Mario games, and possibly start throwing our hats in the ring for Game of the Year.
Yep, preliminary Game of the Year.
Spoiler alert. Mine will not be Zelda.
Lol, and mine will not be Destiny 2. However, I'm pretty sure we haven't talked about it yet. I'm pretty sure our Game of the Year will be different. I'm pretty positive.
Yeah.
The problem for me too is I played a lot of old games this year. Like I played through
Yeah.
Sunset Overdrive, I played through The Last of Us, and I don't think those count. I can't vote for that. So oh well.
So I got my Game of the Year for 2014.
Yeah. Oh well. But that should be good. Anything else before we sign off for the week?
That'll do it, friends. Again, we will do a more conscious job of. We've just been busy. We've had a lot of shit going
Work's
on.
been just destroying my life.
And well, we love work,
I love
buddy.
work. I'm sorry. Work has been enhancing my life. It's just been taking a lot of time.
But yeah, that'll about do it. Again, we'll be back at it again next week. And other than that, happy gaming out there.
Happy gaming, friends. We will catch you next week. Thanks for joining us, episode of Gaming Nonsense. We will see you later. Adios, amigos.